All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to... Shit. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition... What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of KMS Reloaded, episode 10. A very cold, windy episode 10. Mount Katahdin in the background. Sorry I'm on top of the camera, but last time I was sitting down here, and now it's underwater, so I'm sitting on top of you guys today. I'm sure you guys will love seeing my pretty face. I've been interrupted like 4 times already, and one time I was in the middle of a rant dropping, well, you'll hear about it, but let's just say I was talking about Jackie McMullen, and pretty sure a family heard me say a really bad word. So I'm gonna try and keep it a little bit low key today so I don't get kicked out of the mountain. All right, so the show starts off, Blind Mike's in the house today, and the guys start talking about Jerry, which we covered in the previous episode ad nauseum. But I did think it was interesting. One of the things that Kirk brought up that I didn't really think about, Jerry was taking shots at Kirk's kids, not only in the previous episode that he was on, but also in that 5K where he said that Harry was doomed, essentially. And then he said something really awful about Kate. Well, not about Kate, but he came up with a really awful circumstance to kind of question Kirk about. The reason Jerry does that, and he's so comfortable doing that, is because he feels like he has the moral high ground over Kirk. He feels like he is morally superior to Kirk. He feels that all the messed up things that Kirk said, who has been committed to mental institutions, and I believe the thing that he said that pissed off Jerry was that he was gonna like kill his family or wish death upon his family or something. And if you have a person who's been committed to mental institutions saying that to you, you kind of got to be the bigger man in that point, especially if you want to sit on the moral high ground. And you kind of just got to take that one on the chin. The reason Jerry goes after Kirk's kids is because he knows that it hurts Kirk's feelings and that it gets under Kirk's skin. So here's this guy who thinks he's morally superior to Kirk. He thinks he's better than Kirk, obviously, for all his moral fights that he takes on, you know, all these things that Jerry thinks he's going to single-handedly solve, which he's done nothing to help. The children's hospital and all that stupid stuff, you know, him talking about it does nothing to help the situation. The only reason he says those awful things about Kirk's kids is because he knows it's going to hurt Kirk. And to me, that's kind of the most messed up thing to see Jerry Callahan do, because that's not a bit, that's not a joke. He's really trying to make Kirk mentally uncomfortable. So I think that was a pretty big scumbag move. I've always respected Jerry. I've always been a fan of Jerry in the past. But after kind of Kirk pointed that out, let's just say I'm done with Jerry. I'll say it that way. Like I said, I got to behave myself. But I am done with Jerry Callahan. And then kind of keeping on that Jerry Callahan conversation, one of the things Kirk said, which I don't really agree with him on 100%, was that he doesn't have the power to cancel people. And I will agree with him that that's usually true. When he does say to unsubscribe to Jerry's podcast, I'm sure it'll affect some, but not all. If he told people to unsubscribe to Blind Mike's podcast, no offense, Mike, but I think Mike would be ruined. But I will say it depends on the person, and Blind Mike might be the only guy that Kirk could really influence the audience on. You know, again, no offense, Blind Mike. You know I'm a fan. One of the things that kind of sucks about this whole situation is that when Kirk asked Jerry to come in on Sunday night, Jerry obviously still did it because he has a sense of loyalty, of camaraderie with Kirk. But that you could tell that's as far as it goes. Like, he still feels like he has to come in, but you could clearly tell, as everyone who watched the episode or listened to it could see or hear, that he just did not want to be there. So it is weird that he still feels like he has to do that for Kirk, or he still wants to do that for Kirk, but when he gets in that seat, it's over. There's just nothing going on. Completely reactionary and just very not funny. I went back and listened to a couple bits just trying to get notes for this episode. And it's funny, listening to it live, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed how bad he was. But after like having like a couple days away from it and listening to it again, it's actually kind of frustrating that he would bring that into the Kirk Minahan studios, especially when you see what Kirk did for his career. The fact that you would walk into the KMS studios with that type of attitude, with that type of unplayfulness, You know, that's just how it is with Jerry Callahan. Just had some visitors, so I had to turn the camera off. We're good to go again, hopefully. We're golden. People keep walking up as I'm about to say some really nasty stuff. Anyway. So then the Jersey Jerry controversy comes up. I guess Jersey Jerry, he was crapping on Mike Trout for not signing these kids' autographs, when in reality, these kids were probably just hawkers, and they were probably working for their dad, who was just trying to get them to get free autographs so he could flip them and sell them. Dave Portnoy freaked out. It's hard to tell if Dave was serious or not because he's so coked out all the time. See his hurricane videos if you haven't watched them from last night. I mean, the guy's just a fucking mess. Oops. Yeah, I don't know, like, who cares, Dave? It's funny to see the things that Dave Portnoy kind of gets freaked out about, what he gets worked up about, and what he just lets slide. That's how I can tell he's not thinking straight. Talk about a snow cone guy. Freaking Dave Portnoy. You know that Dave's into the snow jobs. The guys bring up Rachel Dolezal real quick. How many of these OnlyFans leaks are done on purpose? That's a pretty good gig if you want to get your OnlyFans to blow up. Just leak a couple videos, and you can play that thing both sides. I'll have to have Dave send me some pictures of that, since I know he's still got that OnlyFans account. He was telling me about it the other day. Man, you should see some of the cupcake videos that Dave was sending me. Dear God. I did not think a boxing glove could fit up there. Holy shit. So then the guys start talking about Dave's real estate skills. The big real estate guy has been failing at trying to find them a studio, which is surprise, surprise. Later on in the show, when they're taking calls, here's Mr. Real Estate Guy, you know, he's gonna get this real estate company off the ground, those stupid freaking videos that he did. And then here's this guy at the end of the show, and he starts begging the callers to call in and give him real estate advice, basically real estate spots. This is the real estate guy on that show. I wonder why it friggin' bombed, Dave Cullinane. Everything he does is so like half-assed. It's so like two-faced. It's really funny though. That is such a Dave Cullinane moment. And then another thing that's Dave Cullinane to a T is his daughter, wicked trash-mouthed daughter. She's learning how to speak like daddy at school. Dave's response to Kirk giving him crap about it is he says, quote, "You can't control that stuff." So there's Dave saying he can't control the swear words coming out of his kindergarten daughter's mouth. Kirk has a good line where he says that she's gonna have a face full of powder like Tom Shattuck. But I gotta give it to Dave, man. He can take that kind of stuff, so kudos to Dave. Kirk sounds like he's probably a pretty good dad. He definitely gets it. I'll probably never have kids because no one will ever want to sleep with me ever again. If I ever did, I'm gonna read Kirk Minahan's book about parenting advice. The best part about this whole Dave's daughter has a trash mouth bit, when Dave says that he told her that she can't do it at school or in front of other kids. In other words, implying that she can still do that type of stuff at home. Parent of the Year, and it was 2018, was KFC. Parent of the Year 2022, Dave Cullinane. His in-laws and his parents have raised his children. He brings his kid to a cockroach-infused studio and lets her lick cockroach traps on the internet. Poor Dave's kids. And I feel bad for the old lady too, but she doesn't come up on the show, so I won't bring her up. Dave starts trying to take credit for Kirk's advice, basically, by saying that he already said the things that Kirk told him to do, even though 5 minutes ago, he said the complete opposite. Again, that's just Dave Cullinane. So then Dave starts crapping on Ryan Reynolds' video that he made with Hugh Jackman. I pretty much agree with the guys. But you can't really fault Hugh Jackman for doing that. I kind of give Hugh Jackman a little bit of credit, showing that he has a little bit of a sense of humor. He doesn't take himself too seriously. That was Robin's guy. Robin was a huge Hugh Jackman fan. So he is kind of hot, I'll give him that. And then to keep on the Dave train, Dave admits, surprising nobody, that he at one point attempted to buy downloads. Is anyone shocked? Like I said a million times before on a million different episodes, that's Dave Cullinane, that's who he is, he's a snake. If Kirk is like Adam, I guess that would make Eve Blind Mike, although that'd be some pretty big leaves to cover that shit, if you know what I'm saying. I guess I am the apple. You know, I am the forbidden fruit. I am the knowledge. Dave has to be that snake. Come on, Kirk, just take a bite out of me. You know you want to. Then the guys start talking about Brady's upcoming divorce. Do you blame her? I mean, she's super hot, she's richer than he is, and her husband's now a psychopath. I'm sure he wasn't like that when he met her. Giselle, listen, I'm single, baby. You know, reach out. I don't have a job. I live at home. I'll be nice to you at least. No, I won't. The guys briefly recap. Jesus Christ, it's cold. Ugh. The guys briefly recap the Celtics coach situation again. The only thing I'll say about that is the first thought that I had when I heard the opening statement from the Celtics, Jesus Christ. The first thought that I had when I heard the first statement about it being consensual, that was definitely from the coach's camp. Like, that was a message sent from the coach's camp to get ahead of the story. When you hear Kirk saying some of the things he says during this part of the show, it sounds like he's got some inside info. He probably already knows what's coming. Kirk's a smart man, but he also has a lot of sources, so we'll see how that plays out. So then the guys start talking about my favorite part of the show, Stephen A. Smith's No Mercy podcast, KNOW. And not to just recycle bits from the show, but I literally don't even know what he was trying to say there. Like, do you think he even knows what he was trying to do with that? Probably not. And by the way, Stephen A. Smith has the worst impersonation of a Southern Baptist preacher I have ever heard. It's funny how he can do that and it's fine, but if I did that, I'd get canceled. Both of us doing it would be just as appropriate. It's funny hearing like Stephen A. Smith talk about like these hard rappers too, like LL Cool J, and then you could put in someone like Method Man, or you could even put in someone like Ice Cube. And it's funny, like Ice Cube was in NWA. NWA, and I'm sure some of you know at least what that stands for. I mean, he had a song called Fuck the Police. Can you think of a guy that would be a bigger sellout in that whole industry than some of these hard rappers? They are frauds, just like everyone else. Carol used to work for this company that owned a radio station, and the radio station was up above the company. So she got to meet LL Cool J, and she said she bullshitted with him for like 20 minutes about that shark movie he was in, Deep Blue Sea. So I got his autograph, so I don't want to say too much bad about LL Cool J. And then the guys start talking about Intern Harrison's tweet. I guess Intern Harrison had a little bit of a boo-boo, but you can't blame the kid. He's trying hard, and he's absolutely crushing it. He's blowing away Dave Cullinane on the Twitter. Dave ain't got shit on Intern Harrison. What Intern Harrison ended up getting in trouble for was he had a little joke. He replayed a bit of a call from the show, but seriously, this is not a bit, this is not a joke. Who do you think's got a bigger one? Jerry's dick or McMullen's clit? Just think about it. Then Kirk starts talking about all his stories about his youth, just going to town in these stores. 16 years old in a movie theater. That is wrong, dude. When you're 16 and you're doing that, that is wrong. I'm not shaming him, but you could not do that today at 16. You get caught doing that, you're going to juvie, son, okay? So Kirk is a savage. Kirk is such a savage with that. Can you, any men out there, could you imagine standing in an aisle of a store in front of the magazine rack? That is insane, and I believe it 100%. Kirk is a savage, and I love him for it. So then Dave starts bringing up about how his own personal playtime sessions have been limited, basically because Pornhub removed all the ex-girlfriend revenge post-breakup release porn. Pornhub got rid of that. Now, I guess Dave, he can't get off unless it's some girl getting wronged somehow. That's kind of a creepy thing for Dave. That's like the type of shit that he has to watch, is like people that have had their tapes leaked. I'd love to check out Dave Cullinane's search history. And then he's talking about Maitland Ward's too hardcore. I did watch a little bit of Maitland Ward, and she is a little too hardcore for me too. One thing I will say about, oh yeah, by the way, like balcony sex, I've never heard of that before. Here comes the rain. Dave starts talking about Maitland Ward's publicist called in. I thought that was pretty cool. That's good to hear. That's usually the opposite. They usually, the guys, when they hear from someone like that, it's usually a bad sign. What do you guys think about a KMS porn movie? Release it on OnlyFans, money goes to charity. Anyone interested? Let's figure it out. The calls were all right. I thought the stillborn call was hilarious. I wish I could have seen the shock on that woman's face when Kirk said that. She must have been mortified. You could tell when she picked up the phone, she wanted to kill Kirk. So I thought that was really funny. I thought that was a really good call. And then the cockroach that looks like a beetle derails Dave for the rest of the show. I mean, Dave's toast after this moment. He's obsessed with this roach. And at this point, it's like, Dave, you have Kirk Minahan, who you're a producer of his show, and you can't even get your landlady to remove the roaches from the building? Like, how much do you suck at your job, Dave? So real quick before we close out this show, some guy calls in and tries to give Kirk interview advice. Who else is a better interviewer than Kirk Minahan? What other person at Barstool Sports anywhere even asks some people tough questions? I mean, I'm not saying Kirk's a tough interviewer. I mean, that Fred Couples interview was a layup, but obviously it was. It's his, like, idol. And he's right. When people start rambling, interrupt them and move on. So I don't know what the hell that caller was talking about. That caller was an idiot. For a caller to call in like that and just say, Kirk Minahan, shut the fuck up. It's just like, wow, dude, you're really cool. You're really risque. Can't wait to hear more from you again. And then the final thing I'll say about today's show, and I'm being dead serious, Mike, if we're ever out in public, you could put your arm right here, and I will fucking bring you right across the street. I'll read your menus for you, Blind Mike. I just want to let you know that, buddy. I'm here for you. And I'll only make fun of you a little bit. All right, so today's sponsors for the show, we got Blind Mike, blindmike.net. Check out his Patreon. He needs the money. He's blind as hell. Please give it to him. They got Milton's, miltons.com. Milton's a store for men. They got 3 locations throughout Massachusetts, South Shore Plaza, Braintree, and Burlington. I got it. And then BetterHelp, betterhelp.com. Kirk10, I believe, is a promo code. Save my life. It could save yours too. KMS Reloaded, episode 10. I find that the shows that I recap that I really enjoy, where I feel like they're really good and they're really funny, I feel like those shows are really hard for me to recap, to mine for funny bits. The shows that, like the Jerry Show, the Tom Shattuck Show, which I had COVID, so I admit that I missed that one. The Steve Robinson shows, the Hungover Whitney Show. Those shows are so much easier to mine for content because it's just a shit show, you know, and it's a great episode. They're the best episodes. Episodes like last night's, which are really funny, it's really hard to do a recap for. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys next time on KMS Reloaded.
No big deal, no hard feelings. Good luck. Fuck you!